guys, this is Arnoldlist98, and here is Optimus Prime from Transformers Bumblebee, or the Bumblebee movie. And yeah, it's been a while, but here's my finale for all the Bumblebee movie builds I've planned to do. I'm really happy how he turned out, and I definitely saved the best for last. And I plan to do some kind of overview video, showing off all my B-movie builds all at once. I've made the 5 main characters and 2 extra bonuses, and I think I'm very happy how this lineup turned out. Yeah, once again, I'm glad to save the best for last. He's easily my favorite of all the Bumblebee movie builds I've made, and also my favorite Transformer made this year. Well, so far. Even though he's not my newest Transformer, I do have 5 other builds to show off, since I'm kind of falling behind because I made these prototypes over the summer and I decided to booklink them all at once. And so this month we'll have a lot of content, which is a good thing. But while he is my favorite Transformer made this year, he's not enough to beat my #1 favorite, which is still my movie Optimus Prime, my new version. And it's been fun making him. There are a lot of periods of slow and fast building because I got stuck pretty frequently, but it was much faster than Blitzwing, the build process. His engineering is like a combo of Evasion Mode Prime and my recent Blitzwing builds. And just like with Blitzwing, I relied a lot on the 3A model figure, because I really want to nail those details in robot mode and make him as accurate as possible. And yeah, in the description I do have this .io file. Yeah, to start his truck mode, he is a 1985 Freightliner cab over, and this is pretty much the closest you can get to a G1 Prime from me, considering I stick to movie designs. And this is his Earth mode as seen at the end of the movie. I don't want to bother with his Cybertronian mode. It doesn't show up in the movie, and it's pretty much his Earth mode with the different wheels and smokestacks for robot mode. And the truck mode is actually the weaker of the 2 modes. I really like it. It definitely has more recent style, which might turn people off, where there's a lot of hinges and reverse studs and stuff. But as long as it keeps the shape of the vehicle and there's no random colors sticking out, it worked for me, especially the back here. The front is easily the best part. It's really clean. The front windshield, I kind of stole this off my Evasion Mode Prime design, and the geometry worked perfectly. And the front grille, bumper, as you can see, I kept the gray stripe running through. It is broken up a bit here because of all these hinges and stuff, but that's fine. And coming into the back, all this is, he has a nice long bed. It's like that in an actual truck, little red sticking out. And you have, you actually did fit in the tail lights here, and the trailer hitch. This will be important later on. And yeah, just a nice solid truck mode. The one of my least favorite parts design wise is the gas tanks. I tried to replicate the gas tanks, like the curved shape, but this actually plays an important role in robot mode. That's why it looks kind of ugly. Other than that, I got the backboard. This is also important in robot mode. The top's a bit messy, but it's still the single color. And yeah, not much special. The only downside for this truck mode, physically, is that this part will droop down, but as long as the truck's on the ground, that won't happen. Because, see, that ball joint here isn't tabbed into anything. The bottom is actually, you can't really tell much robot stuff going on here. And as always, he can roll around, which is nice. And giving it a 360 in my turntable. I should probably get some kind of white thing on the bottom, but I think it's fine. You can see he's a nice truck. And now for a size comparison, we got Ravage, we got a minifigure. This is also the purest version of Charlie. I'm not very happy with the hair at the moment. Here's a tiny Turbo Changers toy. And over here we have the Studio Series Voyager, which is not completely accurate to the truck that was in the movie. I do highly recommend this figure, even though it does kind of stand out in my collection since I don't have any other Bumblebee movie Studio Series figures. Next we have my B-movie Bumblebee, even though these two weren't seen in these forms together. And here's Prime with Blitzwing. Blitzwing is massive in jet mode compared to my other builds in their vehicle modes, especially all the cars and trucks. And here he is as my first trilogy movie Prime. I didn't transform my last night Prime. I think that's still in storage, but yeah, the scale here isn't accurate. The B-movie Prime truck mode should be a lot smaller compared to the Peterbilt. They're about the same height, and this Prime is a little bit longer. Other than that, you can see the clear differences. I do still prefer this design of Prime, which is probably why he's still my favorite Transformer. And one final feature, ever since I started building him, I really wanted this to be possible, but here we have Prime's trailer from Dark of the Moon. This is the one I made last year that turns into the armory, if you didn't know. It is actually compatible with this Prime, so you take this little pin here and it just goes right into the hitch, like on my movie Prime. And just get it in there, and it looks perfect. Yeah, it's a perfect homage to G1 and his how he was at the end of the movie, and everything is still roll. Yeah, I love this compatibility. And I don't usually tease my future Transformers in my current videos. Well, I did back then a little bit, but here's my next build I'll be showing off. And here is Bumblebee from the first Transformers movie as the old Camaro, and this could also work as the Camaro from Bumblebee, even though the rollout mode is different. And yeah, you can just put it here, and you can have the final scene of the movie. I just need to make a giant Lego bridge, but they look great. This guy will be my next video. I think it'll be the perfect transition from the Nightverse and back into the Bayverse for me. And now into the transformation. I didn't really base mine off this Doo-Doo series toy because that one was kind of hard to copy. So it is my own transformation pretty much. But this is the smoothest out of all my Bumblebee movie Transformers I've made in terms of transformation. I want it to be fun and minimize stud friction. Like you'll see there aren't too many steps that require you to rotate tiny bits. And instead, this guy mostly relies on folding and shifting hinges and ball joints and whatever. And let's start. So first of all, coming onto the back, of course this part will flop down. And I'm going to start with the legs first, actually. Coming up to here, just unfold the trailer hitch. One of the legs is going to have the trailer hitch on it, so just separate like that. And now you can pull the legs apart like this. Bring up this section, this will become this little hip skirt area. And like that. And then coming over to here, rotate these sections around. And shift them in, fold it up to reveal the vents. I wanted to hide them in truck mode. That works. And like this, fold it down, and then fold these sections up a little bit, and fold out the knee pads just a little bit too. And coming down to here, the actual feet are hiding in like inside here. And fold this outwards, and coming into the back, you want to fold this section up. This section will fold upwards too. Fold like that, and same for this side. Since there's the hitch here, it's not going to fold in as much as the other side, like that. And then coming over to here, split these. This section here will rotate up, fold this down, shift it, and just after you shift this up a little bit, you want to fold this panel back onto the back here, and same for this side. You want to shift it upwards a little bit, because when you shift it down, this thing is like flush to this section to avoid the wheels scraping on this part on the ground. So you just fold this around, fold this, and this fills out the back nicely. And those are the legs. And next we got to do is fold these little panels outwards. You want to rotate this 180. I guess this is a GUR truck mode here. And then rotate these sections around like that. You're revealing the lights and these little side skirts. And then coming over to here, this front bumper section, you can fold it up and grab it and shift it out. This will give you the clearance to actually first you gotta do is this part will fold down, and inside here you gotta untab this from the bottom of the arms here like that. And in case you want to know, for when you actually do build him, this stud actually tabs into these two studs tab into here under the arms here, which is really helpful. And you want to shift these wheels as far back as possible. And now this section can fold it up. It's going to pass through the bumpers here. just like this, and like this. And then setting him onto the ground, a lower position. You want to come up to these panels, fold them up, and pulling this section out will reveal the stripe here. I like how that covers that. And rotate this forward, and fold this up as tight as possible. Like that. And coming in down here, fold this down. Grab the side section, just like the G1 typical transformation. You want to wiggle all this out. It's really cool. I got that to work. And now we're going to deal with the arms. Gotta rotate this out here. And like this. Fold this forward. Take this panel here, rotate this up, and rotate it like that onto the top of the shoulder. And fold this down. And rotate the arms to the side. Coming to the back. This part's really cool, this panel. It rotates around like this, and this section will wrap onto the back like that. So that's one arm, which is really easy. And now for the other arm, same thing. Rotate this upwards, rotate this onto the top of the shoulder, fold this out, rotate this forward, shift this down, and rotate this around like that, and then fold this onto the back. Coming back here, you see the head over here. In order to free up the head, you're gonna have to open up the chest. You see that black bit here? When the chest closes, it locks that into place. So you just gotta open this and open that, and you want to take this whole section and fold it upwards, just as far up as I can go on this hinge inside here, and then bring all this up. As you can see, it pulled the whole head section upwards too. And you want to be really careful with this. Have the chest as open as possible. Yeah, this is a much looser connection than the typical ball joint sockets like these. And then you just grab this, and you just want to rotate this 180, fold the head up for clearance, just like that. And then once it is set onto the ground, the studs here and the studs here, well, the studs here will sit below in just flat area, and fold it like that. It kind of locks in. It's interesting. And then now we want to fold these sections upwards. And rotate to the front here. First you gotta do is just rotate the head around and angle it up. And then close the chest here, not all the way down, but enough to create that gap like in the model. And then coming into the back here, you'll see these little tabs. They'll just fold in. They keep the chest angle in place. And move the arms as far out as possible. And this is the interesting part. You're probably wondering where all this grill part goes, but it actually folds inwards like this. The whole section here, accordions. Actually, you want to free these sections up first. You rotate these, fold them up, and rotate these, fold them up. He's looking really chubby right now, like a Chungus Prime or something. Shift this inwards, and then coming into the back here, you want to shift these out and shift this out, fold it up, fold this up. This section is going to fold down like this on the ball joint. And that's just the top section here. And then the chest will actually sink into here, and this section here would rotate upwards. So as you can see, it kind of folds onto itself. The whole front of the truck is like hidden inside, and this part kind of comes back around, which is nice. And to further add that, this will kind of sit right there. It doesn't tab. And then bringing up the waist area. And you just want to pull this down in like that. And then fold the skirts down like this. Make sure everything's straightened up. That. Now coming into the back, you want to fold this inwards, shift this inward, pull this out. And same for this side, fold it up. Just want the wheels to pass through. Like that. And these are going to sit right into here. The geometry is perfect for the bumper to actually fold up into here. Gotta wiggle them a little bit because the nubs cause some clearance issues. Like that. And then you want to fold this down and fold this section down. Put this back here. And this is this little thing hanging out here. We're going to deal with this right now. Coming into the little area, fold it, shift these sections out. This was the backboard in truck mode. This is going to rotate 180. Once again, I use the same connection with the clips, so it's not as stiff. And coming over to here, this is going to climb all the way up here. And where the head is, these two sections are just going to slot, filling in this whole area. Just like that. Just like that. Sitting there, and then the head is going to just rock forward a bit, like that. And then now you can take these sections, fold them in. And the final bit, this is my least favorite part because it's not as smooth as the other sections. You want to deal with these front wheels. First you gotta do is rotate them 180. It's a bit stiff because it relies on friction. This is one of the few sections that actually relies on friction for the transformation. And then rotate this. Just 180. These have to be stiff in order for them to be upright in truck mode for the front wheels. And now they're rotated 180. You want to fold these sections in like this, and they're gonna sit right between the strut that holds this whole back section, like that, and like this. Yep, and there you go, that's the whole back. And then coming into the front, make sure everything's all positioned. Set that down. And here's Optimus finally in his robot mode. This is easily my favorite of the two modes. He looks very G1-esque, and I tried really hard to get him as close to the 3A model as possible, just like with Blitzwing. And spinning him around, you see all the details. There's no random things sticking out. I think I managed to keep him really clean in this mode. And to start with details, first of all, his head. It's based off my Starscream's head from the Bumblebee movie, my previous one. I based it off of that. This is like the core of it. It's pretty interesting. I wanted him to have a pretty big head compared to my movie Prime, because that one had to be small to fit in vehicle mode. Of course, the chest, I love the shaping because I based it off my Invasion mode Prime. Got a lot of gray here. This is not supposed to be a fake grill. It's supposed to be a little detail because I had to make the colors work in both modes. And you got the little pouches, whatever patches are red here. His waist, I'm glad I got the little center section actually. This is actually kind of the correct angle. And I also have the lights here to homage a G1 toy. This is the reason why the gas tanks didn't look good in vehicle mode, because I wanted them to be the skirts here. And you can see the smokestacks here in their correct position. You got the thing here, like the Studio Series toy. He does have the stripe running through. I'm glad the shaping worked here, because this was actually the fender in robot mode, and a whole chunk of the truck actually goes into the shoulders, like it wraps to the back. And of course, his hands, similar design to my movie Prime hands. And he got that little disc thing. It's pretty iconic for his design. And coming into the back, this is my least favorite part. I really don't like the wheels sticking out here because they're not as accurate. They're supposed to be hidden away. I tried to squeeze them into here, but the fenders here fit perfectly, so these just kind of sit out here. I guess it's not too bad. They don't protrude as much, and it kind of reminds me of the design for Prime in Fall of Cybertron and RID 15 and his upgraded form in Transformers Prime, because they all have these wheels sticking out the back. I'm glad I got the cylinder thing in. I'd used the new half tile to give that impression. And this, I love how the panels fill in here. And I even got the two circle things, whatever those are. And just as not intentional, I did get his butt plates in. You can see they form an important tabbing part for the truck mode, but they still look pretty accurate. And finally for the legs, I'm glad I got the wheels here, the little grill here. a knee pad, this little, for I don't even know what this is, detail. I'm really happy how I got the actual circle disc here. It forms this whole like panel that wraps around, and at the bottom of his foot I got this little like a sole of like a shoe or something. And now for the posability, he is very posable to the point where it just feels like an action figure. You can really mess around with him and get some nice poses. The head's on this T-joint, we can rotate forward and that, and just like that. Shoulders are really good. You can rotate a full 360 on this ball joint. You could even rotate pretty far back because how the bumper sits creates this little indent that's like narrower than the shoulders, so you can fold pretty far back like that. You can fold up. You can't fold all the way out. That's where this joint comes in, so you can kind of do a T-pose or something. And besides that, you can rotate here, and you can rotate more than 45 degrees, which is cool. The hand can move like that. It's mainly to position it correctly for vehicle mode. And for the legs, his little side panels get in the way, but they can easily be moved like this, and you can fold this one out, and you can see his actual hips are there. So you can do the splits actually like that, and you can move forward, and a combination of both. Then only another minor gripe I have with roll mode, this part can actually flop back a bit. It's not locked into place, but due to gravity it sits right there. But if you want to like hang you upside down or do something dumb, like it will not stay in place. And then continue articulation, knee, it's almost 90 degrees, pretty close. I think that's good enough. And coming into the toes, due to transformation, knee has a really good ankle tilt. You can move back and forward, and even some toe articulation, which is not really intended. And I forgot, due to transformation, he actually does have an ab crunch, which is kind of interesting. He could bend over all the way. It's very rare. My Transformers have one. It's not intended. And you could also rotate the waist because it has to rotate for transformation. But in order to do that, you have to move his butt plates out of the way. You actually have to shift them inwards to provide clearance. And then you can rotate them like that, which is nice. It's not perfectly like parallel to the rest of his body, but it works. And his only accessory he has is his ion blaster. Pretty iconic. It's based off his G1 gun. I had a lot of fun making this, getting the shaping right, especially the stock and like the little scope over here and this little detail. It works. You just open up his fist here. The handle kind of just clips into his thumb over here. It's a little strange, but it works. So like that. And then you just take the two fingers, get this one around, and the little clip here is supposed to be like the trigger. Kind of holds in like that. And he holds it with no problem. And here's another pose. I'll probably have a bunch of these on my Instagram. I'm not going to worry about going through all of these. And for roll size comparisons, we got Ravage, you got Charlie, and here is with B127. B is a little too short compared to Optimus. In the final end credit scene when they're in like the forest, B comes up a little higher than Prime's waist, but I think it's fine. Or maybe Prime is too big. Yeah, so here's Prime with Starscream. Prime's obviously taller. I didn't bother with the transform Blitzwing for now, but he has the same height as Starscream. Here's with the Studio Series and Tiny Turbo Changers toys. And here's with Megatron from Revenge of the Fallen. And here are my 3 movie Primes together from different movies, and yeah, they look good together. I think in universe, Bumblebee movie Prime is supposed to be much shorter, but I think I did the best I could with the height because I wanted to make him scale accurately to the chest because that's what I started with when I made him. And yeah, 2007 is still my favorite design, but I still like this too as a nice hybrid between movie and G1 Primes. And yeah, just for fun, he could still wield first trilogy Primes Energon blades. And yeah, I kind of like this look, though I'd imagine he would have an axe closer to G1. Yeah, so that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed Optimus here. I'm more than pleased how he turned out. And yeah, I think I really nailed like the combo this Prime design's going for with like the boxy G1-ish panels and all those Bayformer and mechanical details here. And yeah, he's very smooth and clean in both modes. And most importantly, he has a fun transformation, which If I'm being honest, not my other B-movie Transformers haven't really had that. Yeah, so Optimus here is a very fitting conclusion and easily my favorite Transformer made this year so far. I do have a lot more videos to show off, and more Transformers. I'm really behind in terms of videos, so they might come out all at once. So yeah, I do have the studio file. It's in the description. I might make some kind of reverse transformation guide or something, because this guy is pretty easy to get back into truck mode. And yeah, for my next video, now we're done with the Nightverse. Well, for now, and we're going back to the Bayverse with old Camaro B. And I'll catch you guys then. B127. I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick, and the clap of my rear shock absorbers keeps alerting Shockwave and the Seekers.